Sure. So, Stellar has always been about creating equitable access to the world's financial system, and that hasn't changed. And I think that we have pretty amazing building blocks, and we have real-world utility already. So we have real-world assets like the Franklin Templeton Benji asset. We have use cases like the aid use case in Ukraine, which is now becoming like bigger disbursements around the world. And so we have all of these things. And with Soroban, what we want to do is we want to enable developers to build more financial instruments. So we just want to increase kind of like the size of their toolbox.
And how does it compete, if I may, with other smart contract platforms?
Sure. When we started this journey like a year and a half ago, looking for smart contract platforms, we saw that a lot of the existing platforms out there were kind of lacking. Both in terms of their feature sets, but also in terms of their scalability features. And Stellar already works at scale, right? And we want to make sure that the smart contracts are not hindering on that. And so we set out to build our own. We are using very well-established standards like WebAssembly, which is this binary bytecode format. We're using Rust, which is a great, safe programming language. But on top of that, we built the feature set that we feel like we needed in order to keep the network efficient and sustainable long term.
What kind of features, if I could ask?
Sure. So, first of all, the actual runtime is super performant. It's kind of like a batteries included experience where a lot of the things that you would need to program for yourself and other platforms, Soroban kind of like gives you for free. Another really big thing that we built into Soroban is this feature called state expiration. And state expiration deals with this very big problem that we have in the world of blockchains that's pretty much ignored, and that is the problem of state bloat, which is, blockchains are effectively databases. And a lot of the data in these databases is, how should I not use profanity? It's right, like things like, an NFT drop from a scammy NFT drop from 2018 that has no value at all, kind of like lives on forever and is like a burden on this database forever. So with state expiration, we built a mechanism so that state can expire if it's not being used, and that ensures that the network remains sustainable long term.
And how does that impact the decentralization aspect?
It's actually great for decentralization because it means that the validators don't need to run very expensive hardware. Because what we see in some of these other networks is in the base requirements for running a validator is becoming more and more extreme. Like you need very expensive machines, you need very expensive hard drives. And so keeping the state in check means that running a validator becomes more inclusive.
And could you talk about some applications that you're seeing for Soroban?
Sure. So I think like the really exciting thing with Stellar is because you already have this real world utility and you have these amazing financial building blocks, you can build products that are at the intersection of DeFi, decentralized finance, but also connected to the existing financial system. So Stellar has something that we call the Anchor Network. The Anchor Network is a global network of interoperable on and off ramps. And these range from small companies like N-Tokens, for example, in Brazil that allow you to move in and out of chain through Pix, which is like this local payment rail in Brazil, to bigger global players like MoneyGram, for example, that provides cash access in more than 300,000 locations around the world. And so with Soroban, what you can do is you can build a financial instrument that has direct access to these financial instruments. So one of the things that we demonstrated yesterday in the keynote is a collaboration between one of the wallets in the ecosystem. It's called Beans Wallet. And one of the protocols building on Soroban, it's called Blend. And Blend is like a savings account, like a DeFi savings account, a lending protocol. And so with that, any user can on-ramp through a MoneyGram cash agent directly into this DeFi product. So you have this beautiful cash to DeFi experience, very seamless, very fast, for us in the West, it seems pretty obvious that you can very easily open a savings account. In a lot of other places in the world, it's not obvious. So with Soroban, we're actually making that more accessible.